Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you, I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And you see on the headlines today is Brooklyn subway shooting leaves 28 injured, dangerous suspect at large, according to officials. Now, I know about this because at my plantation, a lot of people have transferred from New York to live and work in Florida. All right, so there was a lot of people wondering if any of their colleagues and coworkers up north were still at the, could have been caught in this so-called attack, man. All right, and then in that last lesson we brought out yesterday, we mentioned how things you see on the news, it isn't always as it appears to be. All right, so this could be because the so-called president was talking about gun control, and then as soon as he mentions that, you got shootings going off, man. All right, just like a lot of so-called Democrats, when they're in the office of the presidency, they call for gun control, and this is why you see a lot of shootings happen publicly. When I say publicly, I mean nationwide news, right? Such as movie theater shootings, school shootings, and now subway shootings, and so on and so forth. All right, but if this is real news, but this proves that we're at the end of times, man. All right. A manhunt is underway in New York City for a suspect accusing of donning a gas mask, setting off a smoke canister, and opening fire in a Brooklyn subway train station during the morning commute Tuesday, injuring at least 28 people, 5 of whom are in critical condition. So nobody died of yet, but if they're in critical condition, there's a chance they may die. They may or may not make it. All right, so Slovakia, but they say the suspect is a so-called black man, 5'5", and he got away. And another thing is, they say that the cameras weren't working in the area he was at. All right, which is all sounds suspect to me, but even if it's all true, people are, evil is rising. All right, and this is why these things are happening. Actually, let me jump to the scriptures real quick. Let me jump to James chapter 4. And things are happening like this because people are having less and less, and they're seeing people with more and more. It's like, for instance, I believe it was could have been of Tyson chicken. Slocky. Let me this is what I did earlier, and I read this headline. Let me see. Slovakia. So basically, I typed in inflation in Google, and there was a tweet. A tweet said for some company that the company CEO that inflation prices and cost to produce the item they sell is going to be passed on to the consumers, so they're going to raise their prices, all right, to offset inflation. But they said that same company had $1 billion of profit last year, so they said this was all corporate greed. And that's what it is at the end. They're seeing people are having less and less, and they're seeing the people with more and more, man. All right? The middle class is about to be done away with. It's either about to be rich or poor. All right? And which is the ultimate end goal. James chapter 4 and 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight in war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. All right? And that's the thing. People don't ask the Lord for anything. They don't ask the Lord for help to help them fight with inflation, to help them in their current situation. Not only do they not ask, they don't know how to ask, right? They don't know who to call on. They're still calling on the majority of the world that believes in the Lord and believes in His only begotten Son. They're still calling on Jesus, man. And I say majority, I mean at least 95%. All right, verse for James 4 and 3, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. All right, and the things that they do ask the Lord for is it's just to please the flesh, right? They don't ask the Lord for more wisdom. They don't ask the Lord for more faith. They don't ask the Lord to help the brothers, man. That help people in need. They ask to oh, please God, let me get this new Bentley, so on and so forth. That's just an example, but this is what people usually ask the Lord for, and this is why they learn in the churches prosperity doctrine. Ask and ye shall receive, but you got to know how to ask, because if you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, the prayers you send into the Lord are an abomination, and He hates those prayers, man. All right, but what we're seeing now with this Brooklyn shooting, all right, and not only this, and I believe it was in Georgia or Tennessee. Um, I'm only bringing a lot of things are happening, but I'm bringing this story up to prove how wild this place is now, man. But 3 arrested in homicide. No, it was 3 arrested, 17. I believe the other guy was 34. All right, I'll put 3 arrested in the news for last week. Salakia. I forgot what state it was, but basically the story was 3 arrested, 17. Maybe she was 19. Girl. There it goes. Slovakia. 3 arrested after teen was allegedly raped, shot, and dumped on the side of the road. So now what happened in this story was I believe it was these two, the one in the middle and the one on the right, are boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So-called boyfriend and girlfriend. And the one in the middle is 19 and the one on the right is like 34 or 37. So they picked a girl up who was also 19 and tried to have sex with her. They picked her up and brought her to an apartment. They tried to have sex with her, but she wasn't with it. So the two girls started fighting each other. And then while they were fighting, her husband or her boyfriend shot the girl they were trying to have sex with. Now, while they shot her, they put her in the car. And I believe, they don't say who, but it may have been this guy on the left. While she was in the back seat of the car bleeding, they raped her. And after they raped her, they threw her on the side of the road and shot her 2 more times. All right, but I'm bringing this story up because it's wild, man. It goes to show you that evils is rising in this place, man. And the dude who allegedly shot up the Brooklyn subway was allegedly a so-called black man too. Allegedly, man. All right, this is Matthew 24, and this is verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You have absolute no love in your heart for your neighbor or anybody that looks like you if you're able to do that to somebody. And it was 3 of you that was able to do that to this girl, man. All right. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we understand that it's judgment from the Lord, man. It's judgment that the Lord that this woman was put to death. It's judgment that these people were shot up on the subway, man. That's how the Lord operates. All right. Everything is in the hand of the Lord. All right. Let me go prove that real quick. It's Isaiah 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. So the Lord creates peace and the Lord creates evil, man. So when you see evil things happening all across the world, man, that's the Lord doing his work, man. All right. Let me get one more. I'm going to wrap it up. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 14. And I'm going to start at verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. The mortal thoughts will be weak thoughts. You got to think on a royal and holy level, man. You got to understand when people get put to death, no matter how drastic and tragic the situation may sound, you got to understand you don't know what the person did in their current life or past life to piss the Lord off to that point where he will do that to somebody, man. All right. Verse 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. All right, wickedness is just going to increase. The evils that you've seen are nothing to compare to what's coming. Jacob's trouble. These stories are going to be a walk in the park. You're not gonna even hear stories. You're gonna wish you heard stories, man. All right, because it's gonna be a desolate place, man. All right, you won't be able to trust anybody, no matter who they are, because what are people gonna do? They're gonna be on the hunt for food. They're gonna be looking for shelter, looking for protection from other people. All right, so you won't be able to trust anybody. All right. Verse 17, 2 is 14 and 17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. All right, because the world gets weaker and weaker through each generation. All right, the world gets weaker and weaker. Now we're starting to see that on a carnal level compared with the men. The men compared to the last generation have a much more manlier mindset than the men of this generation, man. All right, men are effeminate now, and it's taken as a common thing. Men aren't willing to fight for, put up a fight for their family, put up a fight for their loved ones. Men are willing to fight with their hands anymore. They'd rather just go get a gun, because that's what do you call it? That's a cowardly mindset. All right, I don't want to get punched in the face. Let me kill somebody. Right? Somebody stepped on my shoes, so instead of handling like men, let me go grab the gun and kill somebody. Because what if I lose the fight? I can never show my face again. And no, man, people don't talk about fights you lost, man. Unless you fight and you lose to somebody that you shouldn't have lost to, such as a woman or a sodomite. But the men these days are so effeminate that they might as well be sodomites, man. All right, but we're seeing now, through each generation, how much wickedness is increasing. All right, and we haven't seen the peak of it yet. All right, but this is why we're starting to see headlines like this and more frequently and more often. But I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.